Okay, beautiful. Okay, so first of all, I want to really thank you so much for allowing me to have this interview with you. Let me just minimize to have that interview with you. It really is a remarkable gift for me to just sit with you and to learn about what your organization is doing because there's so much that I want to learn from you. One of the things I found out and I wasn't too clear on is that your organization is doing such a great job. It's a real life experience of the positive roles that we really want to learn as students. And as I mentioned, my name is Stephanie Shaw, and I'm with St. John's University. And as a student, this interview is to hopefully help me to learn about the opportunities, about the experiences of your organization, and the positive role that your organization does in building a better world. Um, the interview is really for AIM to flourish. And what the, their focus is a student-based learning, global learning initiative that is really to discover a lot about companies like yours who are great with innovation and to let you tell your stories and to celebrate those stories and because they're really untold stories. And as I shared with you that all this is embedded in the United Nations 17 global goals for sustainability development. And the goal is that we will learn from business organizations. So students, not just like me, but other students are interviewing business leaders like yourself around the world to find out what are these innovations, how is it for the betterment of the world at large. And so after this little interview, which I'm so excited about, I will or recording will be submitted to the Aim for Flourish website, where the best of the best is celebrated and recognized. And I hope that it will not just be a learning experience for us as students at St. John's University, but for others who will come on that website and be able to learn so much about what OLIO is doing. So without further ado, I think what would be a nice icebreaker, Delia, is if you could talk a little about yourself, to share your story, to tell about your involvement in what are the high point experience that you have had working for this organization. Because I read where you said you grew up on a farm in the country in the UK, and therefore, if you could tell what this organization does and tell how the experience has impacted your life, that would be wonderful.
Definitely. So I've only been with the company since September 2018, so not very long.
Mm-hmm.
Previously, I used to work in the higher education sector as a sustainability officer, and
Okay.
I've learned a lot. I worked a lot with students and members of staff, trying to engage them and teach them about sustainability and environment and how they can interact, how they can have an impact.
Mm-hmm.
I then decided I wanted to move into a sector or a different business that's a bit more ambitious and a bit more
Mm-hmm.
high paced.
Mm-hmm.
So I started looking for startups, and Olio definitely stood up. I knew they were still a very small team at the moment, but I was very happy because it was in the news in the UK that they have just received funding.
Okay.
So it was basically the perfect time for me to join. And so I did. I was successful in the interview, and I started in September last year. So it's only been 6 months or so, but it's been a brilliant journey so far. I've learned very, very much ever since I've joined them. Everyone here is extremely passionate. Everyone's very ambitious, very motivated. We all wake up in the morning and we think every action that we're gonna have today is gonna have such a massive impact on the people that we interact with and on the environment as well, because we're basically saving food from going to waste.
Okay.
So I'm very, very happy to be with the company, and I'm really excited about what lies ahead for us. For us, basically, we're basically looking at global expansion, and we're very, very close to reaching 1 billion users, which is extremely exciting. So we're just shouting about what we're doing.
The co-founder is also passionate. I learned from just reading what they've done on site. But what is your role there, in relation to your title? And how does that experience really help with the innovation
Mm.
aspect of the company?
So I work for one of our programs, which is called Food Waste Hero program.
Yeah.
So myself and my team are basically in charge of matching local businesses with local volunteers. So any business who is interested in donating their surplus food at the end of the day can sign up, and then we match them with a team of volunteers who then collect their surplus food at the end of the day. The volunteers take the food home, list it on the OLIO app, and then their neighbors receive a notification to say there's food available near you, and if they want the food, need the food, they can request it and then arrange via private messaging to go and pick it up from our volunteers. So the program has only been running for about just over a year actually. So it's still relatively new, but we have more and more businesses coming on board. We have more volunteers than we have roles open for. So it's a very, very exciting time of growth for us in this respect.
Excellent. All right. So, thank you for that. So, I hear your passion also and your commitment to what you do, and that's beautiful. But if I may ask a question, if I just switch gears a little, we've learned a lot about you now, but if you could tell us a little about the business innovation in what is the innovation in and of itself, the product. What is that innovation?
I think the innovation in something that's completely different from all the other apps is that we give individuals a platform for sharing food. There are
Mm-hmm.
different platforms for maybe sharing unwanted items or for selling different items like furniture or anything in your house or cars or whatever. But we couldn't find any platform for sharing food freely and safely. At the same time, there are charities who help businesses in a very similar way that we do, but again, they do not offer a platform for individuals like myself or you to share maybe some leftovers that we have in our fridge before going on holiday. So I think the neighbor to neighbor sharing
Mm-hmm.
part of our business is where the innovation lies with us.
Okay, beautiful. And do you find that neighbors are receptive to this? Because I'm thinking the cultures are so different. Maybe in the United States, people may be a little reserved as doing that. Are you finding an openness to acceptance of this neighbor to neighbor approach?
Definitely. I think when people feel in control of requesting only whatever they want, of going and pick it up when they want it, even when someone gets to my doorstep, if they don't like what they see, they don't have to take it.
Okay.
But people have learned to have a bit more trust. So after Gumtree being so popular in the UK, for example, and people are happy to go and exchange items on each other's doorstep, I think it's much more easier for people to exchange food very much in the same way. So sometimes it's as easy as people deciding they want to become vegan from tomorrow, and they decide I don't want to touch any meat and
Yeah.
dairy that I have in my fridge. I'm going to throw it all out. But actually, before I put it in the bin, I can just put it on Olio, and you can have perfectly good food. You can have boxes of chocolate that haven't been opened. Everything is perfectly safe to eat, and it's not only that; it's delicious, valuable food. And people have basically said in our surveys that they are pained to throw away food. So we basically give them a platform to share it with their neighbors, and the awkwardness of going and knocking on a stranger's door and offering them food
Yeah.
is taken away because you put it on the app. If someone wants it, they will ask for it. If not, then they won't.
I like that. The operative word you said there, which was concerned to me, is awkwardness. Because not people are, but when it comes to food, it's a sensitive issue. Are you suggesting to them that they're hungry? They want to get that little defense, little mechanism. But you have taken that away. You have removed that boundary. So that is absolutely wonderful. So let me ask you another question. How did this innovation emerge? Because I'm sure these ideas just don't drop out of the sky. How did it come about that you can share so that your listeners, your viewers who are coming would understand, learn more about this innovation?
Mm. it was definitely one of those moments of pain, sort of say, that one of our co-founders had. So Tessa, she was moving. She was moving home from a different country back to the UK, and on the moving day, she has been told by the moving people that she has to throw away all of the food in the fridge because they couldn't take it. So she desperately tried to find someone to give it to because she had perfectly good food. She had bags of potatoes and onions and many other food items. She couldn't find anyone on the street, and she kind of thought it will be awkward if I go and knock on my neighbor's doors. And then she started looking on the App Store, thinking surely there will be a platform where I can share this food, and there wasn't any.
Mhm.
So she instantly had the idea that this is a great opportunity. I'm sure there are other people who feel just like me. I'm sure there are other people who don't want to who wants to throw away a perfectly good bag of potatoes. I'm sure most of us would really feel bad about it. So she came back to the UK. Sasha is one of her very long-lasting friends. So
Yeah.
when she told her experience and she said, I really think this is an opportunity, Sasha agreed straight away, and they decided this is worth it's worth a shot, basically.
Wonderful. And that's and I like this because it's an idea that comes from one's own personal experience. And based
Exactly.
on that, you were able to say, well, if I'm having this personal experience, maybe there are tons of other people or also doing that. So I think it was really great. But so you have talked a little about the motivation and purpose, and this has to do with I find I have a need, and if I have a need, others will also have a need. But and you also touched a little on who was involved in the creation because it's the co-funders because of their situation that all this took place. Now, one of the things that I thought was, again, I mean, maybe just crossing cultures, is that I'm not sure, is this just available in the UK? Because I noticed on the United Nations website that you were actually gotten some awards. So it's not just in the UK. Which countries are you pretty much involved with this app?
So we are basically a global company. We have had 49 countries in which food exchanges took place successfully. So we are basically available everywhere in the world, and as long as people download the app, they can share food with their neighbors.
That's very interesting. And
Hmm.
so I would assume, though, that once they have the app, that anyone can participate. So if today I have lunch that I don't want to throw away, I can download this app and just take a picture of my lunch, and this person within that proximity will just come by and say, "Can I have this lunch?" Is that as easy as that?
Yes, it is as easy as that.
Now,
Yes.
is there a charge? Because this was something while I was reading and researching, I wasn't sure if there was a charge or is there a charge for this stuff? Or some individuals mentioned they could get lunch at a discount. So I'm not clear on what is free and what is a discount. Could you elaborate a little?
Yes, all the food is completely free.
Mm-hmm.
So we would never charge for anyone requesting food or for listing food. So everything is absolutely completely free.
Mm-hmm. Okay, beautiful, and that's a good thing because again, it makes sense because there may be people in need who don't have the money to spend for it, and so that's wonderful. So, Delia, could you share a little with me about how this innovation, from your perspective, how do you think it relates to the mission and purpose of what the company stands for? Because I think it embodies what the company is in and of itself, but
Mm.
based on the areas that you have highlighted for the sustainability goal, which is zero hunger, uh, sustainable cities and communities, partnership for the goals. Do you think you have met those purposes with the innovation that is created?
I think it will still be a work in progress for quite a while now, and we won't be able to do it alone, and that's why partnerships, for example, is an extremely important one for us. We try to partner with as many local organizations and companies everywhere we can.
Yeah.
And so our mission is basically to unlock the value of food. And the
Mhm.
value can be the economical value, the environmental value, and the moral value, because we very much believe that it's morally wrong to
Mhm.
throw away food. So we want to give individuals and businesses the opportunity to stop food from going to waste. So as long as someone wants to reduce their food waste, they have a means to do it now.
That's such a novel idea because I can relate to that. There's so many times I'm throwing out food out of my refrigerator, and I'm like, it's painful because there's someone somewhere who really need and is hungry. So you are really it's innovative and it's also so inspirational. And I assume that all of this this gave life out of the concept and the idea for the founders and the co-founders, and that was where the original idea came from. Wouldn't you say that's where the original idea came from? Their experiences.
Yes, definitely. I think Sasha had such, not Sasha, sorry, Tessa had such a strong experience on that particular day where she couldn't find someone to give her food to, that it basically motivated her to take this challenge on, and she was basically taking it into her own hands, and she is now, and we are basically now giving other people the means to take things into their own hands. We no longer have to wait for the government to do something. We don't
Yes.
have to wait for another charity to do something or for the businesses to do something. We can do something about it now.
And I like that because what you're actually doing is appealing to you're inspiring others to be inspired by what you do. And
Yes,
that's wonderful
exactly.
work. That is a wonderful work. And so I guess we can transition from the inspiration piece into the impact, and how this impact is impacting the businesses and society and the environment at large. Because this is where I thought it there there was an interesting impact, I thought, on statistical wise, where it was said that 3,314,827 portions of food is shared. So
Mm.
if you could talk a little about the impact you think from three perspectives, the impact from a business perspective, from the societal perspective, and from the environmental perspective. How has OLIO impacted in those three areas? What has been the impact?
So I think from a business perspective, it's really helping us grow, and it's helping us show to our investors that this is a scalable business. This is a business that others are very much interested in, and our partnerships very much show the same. We are very close to having 1 million users. So again, we can show how quickly we can grow and expand and appeal to other people. As from an environmental perspective, a lot of the users who join our community say that although they might not struggle for food, they very much want to save the food from going to waste. So they would do whatever it takes to make sure that their food waste in their household is as close to zero as possible. As from a society perspective, again, time and time again, we receive emails from our volunteers or users to just say, I've just met my neighbor and they're such a lovely person and we are now friends. So we really believe that we are bringing communities together, especially in big cities like London or New York, I'm sure, where communities feel like, they don't have that community feeling anymore, and people a lot of the time feel lonely. Although they are surrounded by people, they feel like they are surrounded by strangers. So I think that food very much brings that social spirit in us. So if you go and pick up a food item from your neighbor, you're not just going to say, hi, I'm going to pick this up, bye. Most people stay and have a chat and ask, how long have you been doing this? How long have you lived there? How long have you lived here? And so on and so forth. So we have a lot of people on a daily basis saying, I've made friends through this app. This is amazing.
I so agree with you. I like the mere fact that it's not only you're bridging such a gap with friendships because people are getting to know one another, and food has always been able to do that. And these are long-term relationships that you're building,
Mm.
fostering. and it's globally. It's not just in the UK, but in all these 48 countries that you're really impacting. So that's a tremendous amount of work that you're actually all doing. Um, there was a testimonial that I read, and Delia, it speaks so much to what you just said
Mhm.
about how people feel. And it's the person Michael mentioned. I had some veggies I knew I wouldn't have time to eat. And within an hour, they had been collected, and I suddenly felt like a mini hero. You see the gratification that someone gets from just knowing that they could go on their app and post these veggies and someone will take it off their head. And this is the positive side. Have you ever experienced any negative impact from what you do in your line of, in what the organization does? Because it's doing a great job. But is there any downside that you have experienced or envisaged that could possibly happen?
Not very much, to be honest. I mean, like most of the platform nowadays, we have a rating system.
Mm.
We are very keen on keeping our community, of course, not only safe, but very positive, so that everyone feels valued and it's all in all a positive experience for everyone.
Mhm.
So if a user feels unsure about something, they can very easily, at a click of a button, report it to us, and we will investigate. And if we ever feel like it, we can just remove a user from our community. So we haven't really had any bad experiences so far, but we're trying to put whatever systems we can in place, like the reporting and the rating of people based on their experience, to make sure that everyone is happy using our platform.
I have to, I really have to applaud the work that you guys are doing, and the
Thank
vision
you.
of the founder, the co-founders, and just going on the website and just reading the little nuggets about you, how you feel as if you really know each individual that's on the team. And the
Mhm.
team is about, how large are you guys? About 18, or how large is the team that
We're
you
just about 20 now. We are hiring a few more people as we
have?
speak.
Okay.
So we're slowly growing.
Beautiful. And I guess everyone is in a line a lot with the mission of really helping to not waste food, but to share it with others. I
Definitely.
wonder if you could possibly share where you see the vision of this company in another couple of years down the line, and do you have goals? Do you have, most companies will set their what we call strategic priorities and goals of where we want to meet. Is there any goals that you have in mind that or any timeline on what you'd like to do, or what that you could share with us?
Mm. I think the biggest one that we have, and the one that we are all working towards, is having 1 billion users on
Wow.
Olio in the next few years. So we are hoping that Olio will become as normal as having Facebook on your phone, not only for individuals, but for businesses as well. And we're also hoping that throwing food away will become as um, taboo in the society as littering. So if someone says, "Oh, I had to throw away half a cake," the others around him will basically it will be thrown apart.
Yes, that's beautiful. What about podcasts? Are you exploring in that area? Because it's beautiful. The phone thing is so easy, because with the millennials and everyone on their phones, it's an excellent marketing tool. I think it's
Mm.
wonderful. But what about podcasts? Because I know everyone is going to that area. They like to listen, to just share these stories, and which I think would be a wonderful, engaging way of getting more people on board. It's just a thought process. I just want to throw it out there and just find out from you if is that an area that would be explored, or are you currently exploring that area?
Yes, definitely. Our co-founders have already been on a few podcasts. I can send you a few links if you want it.
Okay, beautiful.
I know of at least two that happened recently, and they have been quite popular in the UK. And whenever we do a podcast or appear on the TV or on the news or in the newspaper, we can see a spike in users joining. So it is. I definitely agree. It is very useful.
Very useful. And that would be wonderful, because, as you know, I'll be sharing not just this video, but some of the pictures from your website with your permission,
Mhm.
actually, as well as some of these links. So, because this is something I was just sharing with a friend this week, and they were excited. Is there such a thing? as this.
Yeah.
So I'm sure this is an easy, sell for a lot of individuals who are passionate for the cause of an excellent innovation that is changing the lives of people all over the world and impacting the global good of the economy and the world at large. So I guess my final question, Delia, and I really appreciate your time, is what thoughts can you leave with us? Um, Final thoughts can you share with us, share with the viewers as to what the company is wants to do in terms of, or wants would like for us to see them as? Are they growing in terms of having more countries? What words do you want to leave with those who are looking at this video and want to say that's going to impact them, to take with them, to share with others, and to tell them about the excellent work that the organization is doing?
Yes, I think again, it's very important for everyone to know that we are wherever you want us to be. It
Yes.
doesn't matter how far away you are from London. You can be on the other side of the country. You can still use the platform as a way of reducing your food waste. And I guess we want to empower everyone, and we want everyone to understand that small actions really do lead to massive impacts. So as many people as possible join the food sharing revolution, we will definitely get there, and we will definitely be able to reduce food waste um, to a level where there's basically almost zero edible food waste going into the bin.
Wonderful. I mean, what better way could we end this interview? The words that came out is reducing food waste to zero. Isn't that a wonderful reality that we, as the entire world, would look forward to? And so, Debbie, I really want to thank you for your time. I want you to also extend my appreciation to the founder and co-founders for allowing you to do this interview with us. And it is our hope that this will really grow and that you'll reach that level of, having a billion individuals, followers on the apps. And it's practical, it's realistic, and and I know it can be done with the excellent work that you're all doing. I really want to thank you and wish you all the best. And we certainly will stay in touch, because now I too am going to download this app, and I'm sure going to make sure. So thank you so much, Debbie, and I appreciate your time.
Very nice talking to you. Let me know if you need anything else. I'll be happy
Yes.
to send you links or anything else you need.
Thank you so very much. The pleasure was mine. Have a good day.
Take care. Speak soon.
Bye bye.
Bye bye.
Bye bye.